Hello, back again. This is part 2 of the revisiting the 2003 childhood video that I did last time. If you want to check that out, should probably be in the recommended somewhere. I don't know how to link shit because I'm a beginner. So, enjoy. Okay, time to get into the video games. The first thing I should mention is that the only game console I owned that wasn't, well, something else that I'll get to later, is the main thing I owned was the Game Boy Advance. I owned exactly one of these, not this exact one. This is, the difference between this one and that one is, it don't work. So, I literally found this in a dentist office that no one wanted. So I picked it up. Mom and I picked up that and a bunch of the games for it. And I had Ninja Turtles. I had Spider-Man. I had I think it was a freaking skater game. Rocket Power. But this was the console I grew up with. And this was my DS. This was my Game Boy. So this is what I grew up with as a kid. So that was a lot of fun to mess around with. Speaking of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, everyone else grew up with Turtles in Time. I grew up with this. I grew up with the 2007 Ninja Turtles video game and the movie, for that matter. I grew up with the movie. It was the first experience outside of the commercials to the Ninja Turtles that I had. This is my first Turtle movie, and I watched it. I wanted to play the game, and I was only able to play it for the Wii, but I have it for the Xbox now, and that's pretty fun. And also, another game is Turtles, really, I like to show off is Smash Up. This was my introduction to the Smash Brothers formula. That's the weird thing no one ever talks about, because I enjoy this a bunch. It's very fun. It's in mint condition here. I got the comic book and everything. But I grew up with this, and I thought it was a very fun game, and I think a lot of people should play this. A lot of people should really, they should play this. It's fun. How I played older video games, older games like Pac-Man and games like that, and some original games were, during the 2003 time period, there was something that came out that was really big, which were, before emulators and things like that, there were these things, the plug-and-play games. Now, nowadays, they still exist. They have Sega and Atari plug-and-play games, but this was what I grew up with, which were the Spider-Man. I had Spider-Man, I had Star Wars, I had Pirates of the Caribbean, Scooby-Doo, I had a bunch. They never made Ninja Turtles, but I had like a bunch of Spider-Man ones, and this is the only one I still have. And yeah, you just run around playing with it like it's an Atari game. And this kind of looks a little suggestive, I would feel. Probably not the only person to comment on that, you know. Bombs away. I think like everyone who grew up in the early 2000s, I grew up with the recent style Lego games. This is the only Lego game I still own, is Lego Star Wars 3. I grew up with the original Lego Star Wars sets. I grew up with the first 6 movies in that series, and I played a little bit of Lego Batman, which I still play every now and then, but, you know, that's the only one I have at the moment, but I just wanted to bring those up, because, you know, who doesn't like Lego? Who doesn't like that now?
No one, because Lego rules the motherfucking world.
Spider-Man. The 2 games that I tried to play this when I was a kid, and I never could, because it kept crashing on my Wii. But now I got the PS3 version, and I beat this sucker like a boss. And I also grew up with this. I remember seeing E3 commercials for this on E3's On Demand channel. If anyone remembers On Demand, you're awesome. But I grew up with this, and again, I beat this recently, so that's a very fun game. Recommend it. It's a really actually good story. I think like everyone who grew up in the 2000s, I grew up with Lego, with the Arkham City. I grew up with Batman, basically, so I grew up with these games. Very fun games. I don't think I need any introduction. Games that not a lot of people do know about is Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. I played this game. This is like the successor to Marvel vs. Capcom, and this is actually really fun, because it's just legitimately a bunch of DC characters fighting a bunch of Mortal Kombat characters, and that's just awesome. And the alternative to that for Marvel was the Ultimate Alliance games. I got the Golden Edition, so, you know, that's a cool collector's item. This was actually my introduction to some of the other Marvel characters, like Blade, Deadpool, characters like that, so that's fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little blast from my past. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out the previous episode, and yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later.